and align our spirit with the information of our oneness, with the understanding of our oneness. And then we will give a little bit of information for our heads so our intellect can actually grasp it, so it doesn't sabotage our heart that knows we are one. And then Wowza will come on and do an embodiment exercise to bring the body into alignment so that we can be coherent in actually embodying and experiencing the oneness of all things and the sacredness and oneness of all life, so we can walk in that knowing in our lives. So shall we begin, Andrew? And do you want to spotlight us? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So Andrew will begin with a meditation.
All right. Hello, friends. Greetings. It's good to be together again. This is assumption number 8. So this is actually the 9th of our series, including the introduction. And we are actually building a construct. We're actually building a new reality or a new worldview of how things are in this beautiful, extraordinary, living, loving, conscious universe. So today's subject is oneness, unity. And this meditation is going to take us into a place of oneness, of unity, of total interconnectedness with all that is, which is a pretty big thing to say, because by all that is, we literally mean all that is. And that includes the entire universe and the multiverse and any other universes and realities that may exist that we don't yet know about. So it's a big deal, and it's a lot of fun, and it consists entirely of love. So we're about to go into a gigantic state of connectedness to love with a capital L. So let's close our eyes. Let's just be here now in this precious present moment. And let's make sure that we are comfortable. Make sure that our spines are erect. That helps with the flow of energy through our bodies and our chakras and our beings. And let's take a deep, gentle inhalation. Filling ourselves up with light and purity and love and joy. And let it go. And as you exhale, just let go of everything, every thought, every concern, even every excitement or passion. Just let it all go. It will be here when we get back. And let us engage our imagination. We are beings who are blessed with the power of imagination. And imagination is how this entire universe comes into being. It's how this entire universe and everything in it evolves. With the chrysalis, the caterpillar turning into a butterfly, we hear of the imaginal cells. Something deep in the DNA is imagining this reality into being. And at the largest scale that we can imagine, and it's literally unimaginably large, we really can't grok it or comprehend it with our limited minds. Let's just sit here for a few minutes in the silence and simply be that wonderful 2-letter word. Just be. And you might wonder, be what? Be connected. Be completely beyond any ideas of separation, of duality, of right and wrong, black and white, and all of those airs of opposites, because we are now way beyond those concepts. We're in the place of the connected universe, the undivided reality that is actually the only thing that is real. So let's be here now and just experience this extraordinary state. And when you're ready, invite your consciousness wherever you have just traveled to in that timeless, precious state, back into our bodies, and note the expression on our faces. I love to become aware of that little upturn at the corners of the mouth, that little smile of knowing that comes from taking a journey to a place that is real. And it always makes me smile, just that little bit, and I hope it does you as well. And remembering the states of gratitude and love and trust. Let's come back into the Zoom room, into our resonant field together here on this hot summer day, and open our eyes. And here we are.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Oh, yes. We are one. We are the conscious, loving universe. And as we move through these assumptions and this construct on the nature of the universe, we come closer and closer to being able to live from that place and truly know it in our essence of our being. And all the buts and what ifs disappear because we get it, that it's absolute, that it is the nature of the universe. It is our true nature. And science, leading edge science is proving it now, that we are all not only connected, we are one. So we're instantaneously, we're just one. So it's, and in this construct, we are showing that it is a conscious, loving universe. There is, in fact, only love. And the nature of that love is unconditional, that it gives us everything we ask for. And what are our requests to this conscious, loving universe? Our consciousness. What does that mean? Well, we have 7 aspects of our consciousness that are our requests or determine our frequency, our vibratory rate, and thereby our reality. We call those the 7 A's. And I can say those 7 A's in one sentence. I'm just recapping so that we can actually really move into this oneness, because that veil is thinning between us and the other. That whole thing that's come about as the other, and which has led to war and all manner of things, and fear and separation. So these 7 A's of consciousness are, and this is in one sentence, with expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings, take committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams. So, as we trust and we move forward and take this committed action from this place of knowing there is no other, that it's all us, it's reflections of us, we are one. And it's just so very exciting to know, in my knowing, that that veil is thinning. We're going to get it very soon. We will lay down the weapons of war. We will move into a higher frequency and bring peace on earth and heaven to earth. Do you have anything to add to that, Andrew, before we go turn it over to Wowza Elisa Lodge for some embodiment?
I do.
You do? I bet you do.
So this is in the Trust Frequency book, this is what we might call the Wowza. Is that Wowza? Could you mute yourself, Wowza? Oh, thank you. What I find interesting here as we go through these, the first assumption, we live in a conscious and loving universe. That's an extraordinary shift from where I certainly started out with my science education, my reductionist, materialist, rational science, Newtonian, Descartesian reality. And now here we are at the 8th assumption, and it is, we're learning that this whole thing that we think of as separation, what I like to call the trillion things. We know there are literally trillions of things in the universe. How on earth can we all be one? But it's a fact. It's one of the greatest paradoxes, that duality versus unity versus oneness. And this one, to me, is an extraordinarily significant one to us human beings, because we have bought into the illusion of separation to the degree that we have divided ourselves into, well, where should we begin? We divided out, we fragmented our species. No other species has done this, to my knowledge, ever. You won't find elephants or rhinos or cats or dogs dividing themselves, despite the fact that dogs and cats show up in different species. They don't, I believe, think of themselves as separate. They don't go to live in different places, separate places, and go to different churches, what have you. We have completely fragmented our species intentionally and consciously under the delusion of separation. Think about the roughly 200 countries that we have divided ourselves into. Think about the cost, the human cost, the economic cost of that division to maintain, to sustain 200 different separate countries just for one. And then the religions and the sects and the belief systems and the tribes, and on and on and on. This, to me, is the most profoundly significant assumption. Once we get over this, once we drop this one, wow, we can simply walk through a door into a reality beyond separation that I look forward to, because that's an extraordinary evolutionary step in what I believe to be the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool thing is, are you finished? Can I just add it?
Yeah, of course.
The cool thing is that all this happened for a purpose, that we came in different colors and different races and different ethnicities and religions, all those things Andrew mentioned, for a purpose, to process, to transmute, to transform this feeling of separation. So that when we do this, when we look at that person who's a different color, a different race, a different religion, and we can look at that person and say, I love you.
I am you.
I am you. Well, we drop all that artificial separation and we move into our hearts, into this higher frequency, because, and this is from the indigenous perspective, it all happened for a reason, to get this job done. Okay, we wouldn't have done it. We would have just sat there in bliss, I suppose, but we wouldn't have done this expansion of all of creation, of the divine. Everything we've done has been as roving sensory organs of the divine, as Andrew puts it, has been to evolve the divine, evolve all of creation. And I actually believe that we have done this job for all of creation. It was like the consciousness of unconditional love said, okay, let's do this thing. Let's put these folks in this meat suit in this third dimension and have them work this out for all of creation. So my understanding is that all of creation is awaiting the love in the human heart as we take the armor down and open our hearts, that it's going to shift. It's going to release an energy into the cosmos that's going to do magnificent things. But we have to choose it. We have to go there by free will. And that's the exercise right now with the pandemic, with the collapse of everything, with our shadow coming forth. We have to look at our shadow and move through it and transmute it personally and collectively. So I think that's enough for the intellect, but we ask you to take it on, take it in, and see what aligns with your heart, your spirit. And let's go to Wowza, Elisa Lodge. We have to spotlight her.
To take what Connie has just said, what we have just said is absolutely true. As a new reality, if you have any doubts, see if you can just let them go, drop it. And now we're going to get out of the meditational stage. We're going to get out of the left brain intellectual state, and we're going to get into our bodies. And Wowza is now going to assist us in bringing this into being in our physical somatic bodies here on planet Earth.
And doubt, he mentioned the word doubt. It's the Achilles heel of getting into this higher frequency. There can be no doubt. So it's quite a process. And here we go to Wowza, Elisa Lodge. Now spotlight her.
I will do that.
Okay, Wowza, can you unmute yourself, Wowza? Oh, do we unmute you? Do we have to unmute you? Here, let's unmute Wowza.
Unmute.
There she is.
Coming through. There you are.
Yay, Wowza.
Like that, the trust of choice, to bring trust into choice just came bursting out. To be able to choose is a very exciting idea. Now, right now, I don't see anybody, for whatever reason, the little squares are not there. Connie and Andrew, you're not there. But in spite of that, what do? I choose now to connect. I connect to the invisible essence that you are, and to all the people watching. Hello, hello. If we can just take one moment, and what would it mean to just lean in to this unified field that is with us, through us, in us, over us, and under us. This extraordinary field where everything is possible. The 97% they say is dark matter is in this unified field. We use such a small part of who we are. And so I'm just saying, to all the invisible billions of people out there. I see you, I feel you. We are one. We are one. You just say that for a moment. Just lean in. Yes, yes.
We are one.
I mean, you're one.
We are one.
Extraordinary that is. Oh my God. No? And just for a moment, boy, to get on this Zoom today was really something. And my quickest way to break through the stress is up that spine, get into that little wiggly, bushy tail again. Woo! And can you let that joy just shoot up the spine now? Woo! Come on, I want to hear you. Oh, everybody come to the party, and that means the corporation in cooperation with all our parts. We are one body. So just that little shake of the head. Hi, body, welcome to the party. Shoulders, elbows, hands. This beautiful spine, to shake it loose, to move it up, to move it down, to move it to the sides. This is the other thing about the unity presence. We're multidimensional, so that we can rise up. So just sweep your arms up to the sky. Our unity goes up to the sky and beyond. Can we hear it? Yes. And then our unity drops into the primal depths of Mother Earth. Can we hear it? It feels so good to just get down, down, down. And then to spread it out to the horizon. We are one big, huge family of human beings, and we hear a woo! 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 And then the whoa, just taking the wow, whoa, all the vowels, way, we, wow, whoa, whoa, wow, 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 whoa. We, wah.
We, wah, wow.
They drop it down there. What I love is we can see again the highs and lows, the emotions, all of the feelings when we bring it into that universality of connection. The past can rest, the future can rest, and we can be so fully here now, fully present, to be connected to the source, to the loving source of this universe. But there is one thing, if I've got a few more minutes.
Oh, you do.
Do I have one more minute?
I have a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I want to interject. You know, here we all are together, and it's really easy in a sense, you know, to get excited. And yes, we're one. But we know when we get off a call like this, we do go back to our traditional habits, which quite honestly is a separative self, because that's where we've all been. And unless we begin to recognize, and I'd love to take it more into a universal theater, if you will, a sacred theater, where yes, we can play. What about, you know, the cool, right? I mean, we got a cool attitude. How many of us have just been cool, you know? And then now we want to be one. It's a little difficult. The energy's not always there in cool. Or if it's not cool, it's act smart, you know, and we've had to be up straight and hold ourselves together. You can see these are all strategies unknown to us that we're separate. We're holding our bodies in a certain way that is, and you can begin to see it when you recognize it and catch yourself in the act. What is my separative self? What's the physiology of it? Because if we don't quite know what that physiology is, we will have difficulty connecting, because the separative self is designed to stay separate. So, unified self, come forth and just see what happens in yourself. Literally inviting the full, universal, loving being that we are to come forward. And are we breathing? And see what my work is. If we are universal breathing beings, the more we can open up this vast life force as the God force. So can we have now, breath, breath, breath. And take one beautiful, I am one. Say it. I am one with you. Are one. Oh, I honor you. I honor me. I honor we as one. And once again, I honor you. I honor me. I honor we as one. Ooh.
Beautiful, Wowza.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So thank you, Wowza. Can you hear me, Wowza?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
So we'll see if any of
I
our...
don't see you yet. I don't see anybody.
we'll,
So it's a
put
bit
it on, we'll put it on. How's that? Can you see us now?
No.
Yes? Huh.
No.
Oh, that's...
I don't know. The whole thing has been very strange. It allows one to be creative.
Yeah, well, you were magnificent, my dear.
Yeah, it was great.
And I wonder if anybody who's here has any thoughts or comments. Otherwise, we can carry on a conversation. So does anybody want to step up and bring their oneness forth? So meanwhile...
I am here.
Hang on, somebody's
good.
here. Yeah.
Linda?
I'm here. I've been listening.
Oh,
Okay.
Wowza.
yeah. So anybody want to...
And I have not felt particularly hugely energetic today. So popping on here was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm matching up with this energy, but but I've had you down in a little corner of my computer while I've had to do some work, and it definitely lifted all the energy. I mean, thank you.
Yes, and Julie, you have actually experienced the oneness of creation, from my understanding, with your NDE early in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? Julie, are you still here?
Julie's hearing us, yeah. I don't know.
Sometimes she needs to move away from her computer.
Okay. So anyway, I think that Julie has experienced this.
I'm here.
There you are.
I really exist.
Yes,
there you are, the real Julie. Hello.
But no, this is Linda.
I'm sorry. Oh.
But anyway, I was saying about Julie, to me, my understanding, she has experienced this oneness, and that's why she started this good of the whole, to have and engender it in others, and to help us all move forward into this oneness place, and serving the good of the whole, knowing that everything we do actually serves the good of the whole, in my understanding. because it's all love and it's all an evolutionary upward spiral. So Linda, do you have any thoughts?
Well, it's so interesting today, and I and I apologize that I haven't been on your hour too often in the connection field, but today was one of those days that I had a little bit of a time to do it. And this morning, since the heart resonance call, there's been a lot of conversation, and with the way that I was feeling is like, it's always love, always, but sometimes it's expressed differently. Sometimes it's not joy and jubilation and celebrations. Sometimes it's accepting all of those feelings and moods that are moving through us. So I think that oneness is really truth in diversity.
Yes.
It's all of the diversity that's within that whole field. And for me, getting to the place of really embracing that, it feels even more complete. And I have, my hour is on Sunday night, grounding the force of love. So of course it's all about love, and to realize that maybe there's more of being human. The love is divine, and it's always there, and it's always growing and expanding. And the human part is experiencing all of the range of expressions of that love, even if it's sadness or grief or empathy or compassion or anger.
Absolutely. Is this Julie or Linda?
This is Linda.
Yeah, Linda. That's
Beautiful.
what our understanding of the nature of that love is not what we think. The nature of the love that drives all things isn't compassion and empathy and all those things that we think of as love. It's all those energies, it's everything. So that sadness, see, that's where we take it, is that everything is love. I mean, absolutely everything. So war, famine,
exploding galaxies, you name it. The universe consists entirely of love and manifests in trillions of different ways and forms.
So resolving that paradox between love and not love, the things we see as not love that you've just described are love. So we're on the same page with you as far as that expression of knowing that all those trials and tribulations we go through are love to take us into self-love, self-acceptance as an individual and as a collective. Did you want to add something?
I just feel that the times we are living in, like every day, if you're tapped into the world pulse and what's going on in our planet and in our country, we are given such an opportunity to step into that larger field of love like we never have before, because there's so much agitation in the field, and there's so much distraction and distortion, that when we're really able to practice and embody the love that I see in your faces, and then I feel like, yes, I've reached a new level of my possibility and potential as a human being, because it's being stretched, and I know that this love is so real, and it has to be love because it's putting all of these things in our face that we have to look at. So what a field of practice.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
you.
And I'm complete.
Rita, do you have anything to add?
Good to see you all this afternoon in Wowza. Wowee!
Wowee!
That certainly put things in motion. You're amazing. And Connie and Andrew, I can't believe it. It's number 8, right at the 8th assumption. So 2 more to go.
2 more to go.
And
Yeah, the next one is we are on an evolutionary upward
Wrap
spiral.
up. Is that right?
Pardon? You're breaking up, Rita.
Would you like to say that last again, Rita? Did you freeze? You might have frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
You're
maybe
close
shut
to
up.
the end now, just
Shut up
8 and
your
9 and a
video.
wrap up,
Rita,
correct?
shut your video. There you go. Now talk. I think you'll be better.
Saying you're coming to the crescendo point here into 9 and 10, and then a wrap up.
And a wrap up. Yes.
Yeah.
This piece of work, yes.
Yeah.
This version of the trust frequency. And it's been fun to check in with you occasionally on this part of your journey. So thank you.
We have a little ebook coming, Rita. You may not know. It's called The Conscious Loving Universe, and it's kind of a little compressed synopsis of what we're doing with this course. So we're busy developing that. It's almost done. And the 9th assumption is
We are on an evolutionary upward spiral to heaven on earth and peace on earth. So,
and that is, again, is something that not everybody believes, not everybody was taught, that humanity is actually on an upward spiral. I once heard somebody say, we're going to, what was it? Hell in a handbasket. It was Michael Beckwith, and Michael Beckwith had a very good question. He said, what on earth is a handbasket? Because if you're going to go to hell in something, you might as well know what it is. So anyway, that was a little joke Michael told years ago in Sedona. So the 9th assumption and then the 10th assumption is the trust frequency is real. It actually exists. There's no reason to doubt it. And once you plunge totally, boots and all, into this vibratory state, the state of consciousness that we call the trust frequency, it literally changes everything. Everything that we once resisted or saw as negative or whatever it was, we're now in a completely new and, dare I say, enlightened state of being. That's the 10th assumption, which is 2 weeks from tonight. And then we'll do a wrap up, a conclusion, and a sort of interactive feedback with everybody who's participated, and see where we are and who we are.
yes, indeed. And Wowza, you are such a contributor to this thing. That was such a beautiful expression of the oneness, the one, the we, and all of us. Thank you so, so much. And
It's just my desire to bring forth the one, to bring forth the one.
yeah, and you've had extraordinary experiences in your life that have shown you the oneness and the magic that lives there, right? In your
and I want to say again, it was also going so deeply into the separate self with love, and playing it to the hilt, you know, just letting it have a field day. So I got to know it so well that it doesn't run me anymore. And I think that one of the biggest revelations.
So your life experiences as a child that took you into such separation with your challenges.
Right.
I mean, beyond anything any of us experienced, more than likely, because of your extraordinary experience. Do you want to just say a little about that? How that came, what it was like?
And I just want to say, I've fallen in love with my story. Because again, if it wasn't for this story exactly the way it was and what is, I wouldn't be here right now in love, you know, with life. And as a child, it's like the God force says, okay, you want to transform, be a transformative leader in the world? Well, you have to know what the rest of humanity feels and experiences. So here it is. And so cross eyes, eczema, you know, the town leper, rashes on my face and arms, and no one would get near me. So, I mean, totally separate. And huge glasses, you know, I wore on my eyes because I'm crossed. And, you know, the whole 9 yards. And I just discovered an extraordinary, powerful energy when I was very young under a mask. And it just took me places that blasted me out of the whole matrix. And also the physical, emotional abuse. I could finally, out of that huge energy, finally see the fear in my father's violence. And a little child that had never known enough love. And I broke my heart open into a big compassion for myself and us all. And making that inroad, this is, you know, 83, I mean, that was when I was 12. And already I knew something bigger, more powerful was within me that nobody could beat out of. And it has led me year after year, you know, into an amazing world of exploration and transformative experience. And that's my greatest message. I don't care what the wounding. Change is always possible because that's who we are. And the biggest other message, of course, is the heart of love. And the one heart now. See, we just opening to this beautiful one heart of love. It brings us into the now. And again, as you said it, Connie, so beautifully earlier, you know, that we could look at somebody, any color, any shape and form, it doesn't matter. No matter how just deformed that face, to know there's a soul in there that has never been maybe even gazed at with love. I've saved my life many times, well, at least 2 times, when violence was just, and I had that 1 second where I made that contact. And it was like, are you cold? Would you like something warm? And boom, you know, it can save our very life. And it can get us through this. Because the heart knows, or the head figures it out and tries.
That's why we're feeding the head. So yes. They won't sabotage the heart anymore.
Exactly. And once in a while, what kind of that woman said, Linda, was so beautiful because, see, we sometimes, okay, head, you know, run the riot act. And that's where my sacred actor work comes in. You don't know what you're talking about. This is crazy and silly. And, you know, can't you ever just sit still and behave? And it's just so fun. And, you know, you got to love them. And it's just, you know, we can have so much more fun and enjoyment with things that we used to judge so harshly.
Right.
And it's fun, you know, as soon as we send a little love to it and have some fun and play, boom. There's freedom.
Wowza, tell me this, with your cross eyes and your eczema and everything, wasn't there a vision that came or some access to this oneness that transformed you and it all went away? I mean, like, well, miracle?
That was in this midst of this extreme energy that I was feeling. My father, which was this beautiful dancer in Vienna, says, "You'll never dance. Look at your little weakling. You know, go in the kitchen and, you know, help your mother." And in that process, I went, okay, if I can't be a beautiful dancer as my father says, I'm going to be the world's greatest ugly dancer. And man, I opened up the whole, I mean, when I opened up, it felt like a whole lifetime of repressed feeling for the human race. I mean, from the most extreme energies to the most glorious. And in that, out of the ugliness, you know, a few weeks of doing my dance ugly taught me something so extraordinary. It taught me freedom of expression. I wasn't afraid anymore to make a mistake. How could I? I have embraced my ugliness, and I became a famous beauty queen. And it wasn't because I was beautiful. I mean, beautiful in the, you know, classical ways or whatever. It had nothing even to do with that. It had to do with an energy that was so grateful to be alive and to be loved and to feel a whole audience send, you know, this kind of connection. My first love affair was with an audience because I never felt that kind of love except from animals, not from my family. And they wanted always, you know, it was always conditional. But to feel unconditional love and to know that there's a power inside that, again, nobody can beat out of, nobody can talk us out of when we feel that. And so the blessing of the symptoms, blessing of the woundings, blessing it all, because out of that are the nuggets of a radically new creation.
Beautiful.
All those things that Connie loves to call not love that you experienced ultimately turned out to be love, because they made you who you are and put you right here, right now.
And you're such an expression of that knowing, because it's such a leap from victim to beneficiary.
To beloved.
Victim to beloved, beneficiary, from perpetrator to benefactor. I mean, huge leap. And until we do, we're still stuck in a lower frequency. I mean, look at you, and you're just exuding this love and your connection to this love. Embodiment of this love, Wowza. I mean, what a living example of the trust frequency and this construct that we're saying to people, guess what? Victim is over. You are the benefactor of everything in your life. We just don't know another soul's journey. So the souls, what we're saying is that we come in with an overarching act of free will. It says, I'm going on this journey to wholeness. So, you know, your father was responding to your soul. Okay, because your soul needed that for its journey. I mean, this construct is really challenging, but you're a living example of it, my dear. And what a treat to have you.
Oh, it went dark here.
We still see you, so don't worry. And I think it might be time to think about, it is 5:59.
I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
Sure. The great benefits of freeing, just having fun in this body as a cosmic playground. For all the cosmic playground and the ageless vitality, that it gets better. We get stronger, we get more vital, we get more wise and alive and connected. Yes.
Yes, and people can go to your website, Wowza, agelessvitality.com.
And the book, Ageless Vitality, of which I had the privilege to shoot the cover photograph of you dancing on a whale. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do.
Thank you, Wowza. That was awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah. Guess what we'll do now is say goodbye.
Yeah, I think we'll say farewell for the week, and looking forward very much to next week. And this evolutionary upward spiral. Wowza, this is going to be a challenge, because now we have to embody the upward spiral. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, she can do it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thanks for the buzz, my friends. Thank you.
Yes, well, Linda, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
And Rita, thanks for joining us.
We did
Good to see you for a minute, Linda and Rita.
Good to see you, and Rita.
But we heard your wisdom come forth, so that's a good thing. So
you need to see me.
Good to see you. We'll see you again.
okay, much love, and I guess we'll John's coming to, let's see, let's
Yeah,
just
we've got
get,
to,
stop.
You'll stop Facebook.
Yeah,
Stop the
how is
Facebook
that?
Live.
yeah, up here.
Okay.
Stop live stream.
Yeah,
So we're going to stop
perfect.
the live.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. We love you. We love you. We love you. And I'm going to stop the recording.